Zinc magazine. This is not me on the cover. I know, it's hard to tell the difference between these white girls with cheekbones and light eyes. Good morning, and if you want to know how it's going today, I plugged in my hairstyler and then left the room for 1 second and ended up with lunch and totally forgot. I just finished that lackluster salad, and I say lackluster because for some reason I really just don't like ranch at the moment. And I'm really trying very hard to not assume that it's because I'm pregnant. Because we all know what happened last time when I was like sure that I was pregnant. I wasn't. I'm trying to just assume that I am just PMSing or something. But because I'm so fixated on whether or not I'm having symptoms, I'm trying to do anything that I can to just distract myself. So I think today we're gonna do a different kind of video. Look at that, like breaking out, which is what happened when I was pregnant with Kaya. But anyway, not thinking about that. Today, I thought that I would bust out some old modeling photos and have a little story time. It's been a very long time since I have looked at any of my modeling stuff. It's been a very long time since I've modeled, but I thought that would be kind of funny to look at today, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm also just going to say that before I show you guys any of these photos, that whole period of my life was before I ever recovered from my eating disorder, so every image that I'm going to show you is of a sick person. Even if I look healthy in any of the photos, I definitely was not healthy in the slightest. Just gonna warn you, I'm gonna talk about some disordered eating behaviors. So if that's not something that you want to hear right now, or you can't hear right now, then I would suggest not watching this video. Just because I'm a very honest, candid person when it comes to my behaviors from my past, and if that's something that might put you in a position of harming yourself or anything like that, then I really don't want you to watch what I'm gonna be talking about. But you know, before we jump into the magazine covers and the editorials, I'm gonna show you the stocking and the stocking stuffers that I got for my cats, which I'm excited to give it to them on Christmas. Hey guys, welcome to Vlogmas! I'm just kidding. I don't have the attention span or the creativity for that. For realsies though, I did get a little paw print stocking for the cats. And they literally had nothing else, so that's what I had as my option at Target. But anyway, this is what we filled it up with. Get out! Oh, it's okay. Yeah. Drugs, always a fan favorite. Oh, you don't get to see. How did you get in here? She just sneaks in like a little ninja. She's probably telling everyone what's in it. But yes, this is the loot. We got some little holiday themed toys, their favorite treats. They love these. It's like crack to them. Of course, as I mentioned before, drugs is their absolute favorite. And then, you know, I thought they don't really get wet food often, so, and they love wet food. Like, they just love the taste of it. In fact, that kind of reminds me of an Ed Sheeran song. Meow, 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 meow. Human, don't talk too much. Your hands were made to pour that kibble for me. Come on now, look at me need. Come on now, it's time to feed me. I'm in love with the taste of food. Chicken, beef, and salmon too. And though I'll eat the dry shit too, I'm in love with the wet food. Last night you opened a can, and the taste was like shit, damn. Every day I wanna taste something brand new. I'm in love with the wet food. I'm in love with the wet food. Sounded better in my head. That is what we're getting for their stocking stuffers. It's kind of all that fits in here, strangely. I don't know, it just looked like it was gonna fit so much more. Let me know what you're getting for your furry little family members. I'm very curious because I feel like I'm not doing enough. You know what I mean? It's the way of being a mom. We're never good enough. Anyway, here's this giant box. Well, not giant, but it is a box. It is a very old box, by the way. I've had this box since I was about 17 years old, so it's like peeling. My mom got it for me. She's like, oh, you can just put your little magazines in there when you get them. It's not all of it, because some of it you just can't get, like from other countries, because you go for a set period of time when you're in another country, and sometimes your agency will send you the magazine, or they'll just take the pages out of the magazine and mail that to you. But a lot of times they didn't, and that kind of sucks, because some of them were really memorable, and I wish I would have had those tear sheets, but you know, it happens. Okay. Oh, but fair warning, I did pose topless sometimes. So you might see my boobies, and I apologize. Oh, baby Steph. And I know it doesn't, like, I had really dark red, auburn, and then black hair for the majority of my modeling career, so most of that is going to be like really dark hair. It's because, fun fact, the first agency I went to in Seattle told me that my blonde hair and pale skin looked sickly, that it was not attractive, so I dyed it dark. While we listen to a bunch of like loud construction sounds outside, let's just find the editorial. The first page? Yeah, that's the first page. Look how skinny I was! Good lord! I think I was all of 18 in this editorial. Pretty flowers. This is one of my favorite photos. Oh yeah, I really loved this one. I kind of liked how my face was blurred out and then like all the details of the dress were in focus. Just that was really artsy. Yeah, it was my first magazine cover. But while we're on the topic of firsts, I think my very first headshot from when I was 15 years old is in here. Oh yeah. Back in the days where you used film cameras and it was black and white. Yeah, I'm that old. This headshot was taken almost 20 years ago. That's insane to me. Such a baby. Still on the topic of first, this is my first test shoot with my dark hair. They just pulled it back. It wasn't like super short or anything. And then this was my first comp card. It's a composite card where they send images of what you look like with all your like measurements and everything. My first ever comp card. Now this is what you call Polaroids. So aside from your comp card, your agent will also have a set of Polaroids to show what you really look like. And I do recall, this was in New Zealand, and my agent there, oh god, I was so sickly. I was smoking 35 cigarettes a day in this part of my life, eating less than 200 calories a day, and taking a bunch of laxatives. And my agent told me that I really needed to lose about 20 pounds because I have like shapely legs and stuff. If you were wondering why I quit modeling when I was 27, that's why. You get to a point, especially when you're close to 30, where you're just like, fuck off. Like, let the 16-year-olds eat 1 carrot a day and book the $1,000 job. I don't care. What else we got in here? Oh my gosh. Yep, was my first job in Seattle ever. And no, that's not my butt. I don't know why. A lot of people think that that's my butt, but it's a painting behind me. And I remember, I think I was like 18, and I was super nervous to be like this with a man. But he was really like kind about it. Oh God. I remember being absolutely horrified of like having to kiss and like, you know, just, where is it? I hate how newspapers do this. Yeah, I remember, look at this. This guy looks like he's stalking me and I'm just in my house like, what's going on out there? Oh my goodness, with my leather gloves. Me trying my hardest to look posed, but really just not getting it in the face department. Gosh. Oh yeah. So serious. Yep, I remember when this came out and I think, what is it, the Seattle Times website, somebody commented on it and said like, a bunch of posy ninnies. They look stupid. That was one of the first times I dealt with criticism from the public. I was so hurt by it. Whatever. Oh man, we've got some Macy's catalogs. Oh, look at my sweet little jammies. Yeah, I think I was like 18 in these as well. Little baby stuff. Aww. Isn't she adorable? What I wouldn't do for that skin again. My God. I used to think my skin was such crap too. Honey, wait a few years. Another cover of some local Seattle magazine. And then this was my first international magazine. If I'm not mistaken, this is from Australia, but the photographer and the whole team was everyone from Seattle, and I think I was 18 when we shot this as well. It's a really cool fashion story. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the story of, what's her name? Mommy Dearest? Yeah, I think it was about Mommy Dearest, the story of Mommy Dearest. That is obviously not all my hair. That was an amazing hairstylist that did the most insane glue-in extensions, and it just looked so good, you know? Like, how did they do that? I was not even 21 and pretending to drink already. I'm attempting to go somewhat in order of where I was and what I was doing. It's a little jumbled, but I think this is... Yeah, so I went to Italy next, and this is a magazine from Italy. This was, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I was 18 here as well, and it was the only photo I had in this magazine, but I do recall it being my first tear sheet from Italy, and my agents were like, it's such a bad photo, like your hair is ugly and your butt looks huge, so we can't use it. I'd have to say of all the places that I'd ever been, I want to say Italy was by far the most abusive when it came to body shaming and everything. Ah yes, Genlux. So this magazine is called Genlux, and I'm in each one of these issues. The main fashion, like, creative director of this magazine was not a friend of mine, but he just really liked me as a person. So, you know, we always had a lot of fun. We'd travel places, Hawaii, Vegas. We went all over the place to shoot these editorials, and I really, really appreciated the fact that he put me in 7 of his issues. Just a really funny, awesome guy, and I really, really appreciated that he gave me that much work. This is the first one with the lovely Jessica Alba on it, and haha, here we are. This is the first, not that one obviously. This was the first editorial I shot with them. It was a 14-pager. I think I remember. Yeah, it was just a really fun black and white editorial. This one was one of my favorite editorials. Fair warning, I'm in lingerie for the majority of it. But yeah, I actually shot this at night in a hotel. Again, you know, agencies did not like this. They did not like these hips. I thought this was really pretty though, even though I was starving to death. It's so weird though, like, I don't look unhealthy, but this is the most unhealthy I've ever been in my life, you know? This is editorial from Hawaii. I remember being a little bit disappointed with this editorial because my legs were edited to be really skinny, and my legs just are anything but super skinny like that. So I found that to be a little disappointing. Wait till I get to Zinc magazine and show you the botched editing they did on my nose. That's gonna be fun. This is one of my favorite editorials I ever did. Clothes are a little bit cray-cray, but I just thought, like, it was so well done. Like, the makeup was cool, the hair was cool. Just really, I don't know, I liked these outdoorsy type shots. What did we do with the Emmy Rossum one? Oh yeah, this is when we went to Vegas. They gave us, like, insanely tight curls, which took, I want to say, 3 hours to do. This is probably my favorite outfit from the whole bunch, because it was a faux fur Michael Kors vest outfit. This is totally how I would probably dress in my own life. And then I remember we had guards standing around because I was wearing these diamond jewels from Van Cleef and Arpels. How much did they cost anyway? It doesn't say how much those cost, but we had a guard standing there. Literally a guard blocking the door and a guard standing like 2 feet away from my body as I was wearing those. So I'm guessing that those cost somewhere in the millions. But it's interesting that they required guards. All right, Zinc magazine. This is not me on the cover. I know, it's hard to tell the difference between these white girls with cheekbones and light eyes. So I showed up for a casting at Nigel Barker's home. And if you don't know who Nigel Barker is, he was one of the celebrity photographers that was on America's Next Top Model. And I remember I was like, holy crap, I'm making a like celebrity photographer. And then he had me in his yard just take off all my clothes and be in my bra and my underwear to see how comfortable I was shooting, doing anything. There was no need for that because I was completely fully clothed in this editorial, but he just wanted to see that I was comfortable with everything. And most of the photos came out really pretty, but one of them in particular came out so bad because I know it probably wasn't him, so Nigel, I'm not knocking you for this. It's probably the person that was editing your photos. But they made my nose all scrunched in, like they wanted it to be this tiny button nose, and I have like a rather strong nose. It's not like a huge nose, but it's not a teeny tiny Emma Stone button nose, we'll put it like that. But that's what they tried to make in the photo, and it's just a major Photoshop fail. And I don't know how this got to print, but let me show you. Weird. It's not in here. I'm kind of wondering if I took it out. we went to Death Valley and shot in Death Valley. And that's not me. This one's me. I know there were more photos to this. American Salon. Magazine editorials typically don't pay very well. They pay maybe $200. It's a lot of work, and you get some nice photos for your portfolio, but they don't pay shit. And I remember the couple of models, I won't show them because I'm, gonna keep their story private. They were like pissed that they were doing all this work for very little money. But the thing is, like, this photo ended up becoming a Paul Mitchell campaign that winter. So it's like I got paid for a hair campaign because I went and did this editorial for a really low price. And these are some of the photos from that. Shout out to Canada, Blue Notes. I think it's a denim company from Canada. I remember I was actually dating a guy that lived in Canada at the time, and I remember he was not happy about another guy touching me, which is, it's funny to think of in retrospect. Amika, Singapore. This was probably my favorite editorial ever. I know I say that a lot. It was one of my favorites, but it really was one of my favorites. But again, my agents were always on me about my weight because I had shapely limbs. Just never, never a break for how I looked. There's always something wrong with how I looked. Which is why I think it's extremely badass that we're now having people with different body shapes in like fashion and beauty and everything. M magazine, which I think is, it's from the Netherlands. Getting a little artsy-fartsy around here. Bondage style stuff. This is definitely, totally me. Goth girl at heart. Yeah. Did a lot of work in New Zealand. This is my beauty issue of Remix magazine from 2008, I think. I remember that photographer was always really hard on me about my skin texture. Everything's gonna start being totally out of order because this is just, a hot mess. This was from my 2013 trip to New Zealand, which was my last modeling trip before I completely retired, and I'll tell you a little bit why. My God, can we please? Sorry. So I went on this trip, I think I was 26 years old, and as I said, the photographer that shot this magazine cover, just when she saw me, she's like, oh, her skin's just awful, like, it's horrible, and she booked me on 2 jobs, and then she never gave me any of the photos, she never used them, she just pretty much deleted them, and there was, like, drama with that, and I showed up to a small catalog shoot that was paying only 400 New Zealand dollars, and when you're in America, you're getting paid, like, 1,000 to 1,500 for like catalogs, things like that. So it was quite a large pay cut, but when I showed up to the set, the lady there was acting like her photo shoot was curing cancer. And she flipped on me because my nails were not perfect. I had chipped nude nail polish on my toes. And she wrote my agent this scathing email saying that I had these disgusting toes, and do you understand the amount of time it took? 30 seconds, bitch. To remove that nail polish, man, it's 30 seconds to remove it, and it's like one click with your Photoshop mouse. Like, calm down. I remember that moment was it for me. Just that scathing email, and then my agent coming down on me over some fucking chipped nail polish that was nude. Girl, bye. I was done. I ended up coming back to America and I was like, I quit. Like, I'll do some stuff here, but then I started working commercials, and commercials paid a hell of a lot better, so I just quit modeling altogether. But yeah, this is when I switched things up and like dyed my hair platinum blonde. So I just wanted a different look and wanted to move into a different direction, and was sick of dyeing my hair dark because it just kept washing out of my blonde hair anyway. Didn't work out. Apparently still looked sickly. Whatever. Did say that boobies were gonna be seen, sorry. Yes. This editorial, which is beautiful, by the way, was shot in Singapore. But there's a very awful story behind this. Like, look how gorgeous this was shot. The unfortunate reality is that this was one of the worst days on set that I've ever had in my life. And this man right here was a model from Brazil. He didn't speak a word of English. It was his first trip out of Brazil to do modeling. I think he was young. He was probably 18. He's younger than me. And he didn't speak any English. And that day they had us shooting for about 13 hours. And if we had to go to the bathroom, they'd be like, well, can you just wait? And we'd be like all tied up into the clothing and everything. And they did not provide food for us, because usually that's a thing. There's catering. Food did come, but we were not permitted to eat, and they would eat it, and they'd like laugh with their mouths full at us when we were like, oh, we're hungry too. And then they'd be like, oh, do you want this little durian cake, which is like this disgusting smelling fruit that they have in Singapore that's not even allowed to be taken on the bus by law. So no, we didn't want the durian cake. And this poor guy like was trying so hard to communicate with them that he was hungry, and like he'd like point to his stomach, and they just start laughing at him, and they were making fun of him. You know, English is the first language in Singapore, and he didn't speak a word of it, so they were making fun of him. And I just remember it being extremely disrespectful, and I felt so bad for him. And it's so interesting that you can get such beautiful shots and have no idea what kind of abuse is going on behind those shots. That's why, like, anyone that's like, oh my gosh, modeling, it sounds like it would have been such a glamorous life. And while it's true, you do get to go to other countries, you get to see amazing things and work with amazingly talented individuals, and not all of it's bad, clearly. But I would say the majority of it was not pleasant. You know, I would say 95% of the people that I worked with had some sort of drug or alcohol problem, definitely were smokers, had eating disorders. I cannot think of anyone healthy that I worked with, really, apart from a handful of people maybe in Los Angeles that were cool. But yeah, that was probably the worst shoot I've ever been on as far as treatment of the models. These were obviously wigs, but I remember this being one of my favorite shoots. It's just so artistically, I don't know, just found it really cool. Yeah, here's one of the Death Valley with, what's his name? Nigel Barker. But I still can't find that one where my nose was all smashed looking. Whatever. Up that one. This is from a New Zealand editorial. Test shoot, also Skinny Mini. This is from an athletic wear company. More random photos. This is also in New Zealand. I think I just look really hungry there, honestly. More really like cool looking stuff. Those jumping Vogue style editorials. Here's a cover of a magazine from Singapore. Here's another Singapore editorial. Obviously it's a wig. This is also one of my favorite shoots. They do really beautiful work in Singapore, even if they don't treat models really well. This is one of my favorite shots from a New Zealand magazine. So we just couldn't figure out how to make these pants look good, and then I just jumped and whipped my hair, and then the whole editorial turned to this thing where I was like whipping my hair in every shot, which was like pretty cool. Felt cool to feel like I had a, I don't know, influence on them. And then also from around that time period, you know, with the platinum hair, just look how bony I was. Beautiful shots though. I really love, this photographer was a good friend of mine. We were trying to go more grunge. Oh yeah, Polaroids from New Zealand. I remember. Oh, do I remember being told. I'm not good with accents, so I'm gonna butcher this, but my agent was like, "You've got to lose weight in those legs. You've got to." And just, you know, again, one of those things like, can you pinch the fat on my leg? No? Okay. There's nothing I can do. Literally nothing I can do to lose weight off of my legs. This is just how they are. I'm a fucking Nordic Viking woman who has strong ass legs. And by the way, none of this bothers me now. It used to. Back when I was modeling, it bothered me a lot. And I was really hard on myself for not being able to have stick thin legs. But now, you know, 8 years recovered from my eating disorder and no longer in the most toxic environment that I could possibly be in, I love myself exactly as I am, with all my extra weight, with my baby weight, with everything. My daughter gave me some boobs finally, you know, like I have never been more satisfied with my body than I am right now, and my body has never looked as bad as it does then right now. So that to me is a successful story in like rising above, you know, a toxic environment and just really healing my mental health issues. So if you're a young person who's thinking about becoming a model, right now is probably the best time to do that. Before, I would definitely caution against it because it almost killed me. Honestly, my eating disorder almost killed me. And I didn't even look unhealthy to, you know, what most people were used to seeing in magazines. But now they're allowing people to have, you know, regular bodies in media and everything, which is amazing. I would say still probably drugs are rampant in the fashion industry. There probably still are some crazy, abusive people in the industry, but I think by far things have changed a lot for the better. And would I ever consider modeling again? I don't think so. I'm not that person anymore. I was 27 when I formally quit fashion modeling. So yeah, it's been almost 9 years. I can't see myself doing that. You know, like that's not me anymore. I know I was like really, really into it. I never got to the point where I was like a big model or known by anyone anywhere. You know, it definitely wasn't. Well, I was on your TV and in your magazines, but I wasn't like, oh, that's Stefanie Wood, you know? And I made a good living, a decent living. I made like 6 figures for a few years in a row, and that was good. But to me, at the end of the day, the toll on my mental health and the fact that I almost died and wanted to kill myself every day was not worth it for me at all. And I'm glad that chapter of my life is closed. So glad. And I don't want to look back ever again. Well, I am not going to torture you guys much longer with any of that stuff anymore. So I am going to get to work and hopefully not think about symptoms and everything, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. P.S. This really sucks.